Hi, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. You watch my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. This is part of an ongoing anthology series of games that I call Star Wars Saturdays, primarily because they're set in Star Wars and they usually happen on Saturdays. This is the third session of Sorry End of Space, which is also called Before the Rebellion, except we're playing this after the rebellion. So I went with the Vincent Baker saying, I also call it Sorry End of Space. So that's why I'm naming it Sorry End of Space. For the curious, this is a game released on Vincent's Patreon. It is a refresh and update of the core rules of a game called Dogs in the Vineyard, which was pretty spectacular, at least for new, different kinds of mechanics and approaches, game released in like 2004, I want to say. A long time ago. It's out of print and no longer publicly available. So this is the closest thing you can get to a sequel to Dogs in the Vineyard, and it's serial numbers filed off, set in a very Star Wars-like place. So very easy for me to use it for Star Wars Saturdays. We ran a couple sessions and took last week off for a couple of reasons, and we are jumping back in. So let's quickly refresh ourselves with our players and characters. So taking a look at our character keeper, I'd like to start from the left-hand side of the keeper, going towards the right. And David, if you could introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your character.
Yes, certainly. Hi, my name's David. I use he, him pronouns. And tonight I am playing Kit Shadestar. Kit is an older human man. He was a former Jedi back in the days when the Jedi Order still existed, though he personally left the Order a little before its dissolution due to some personal issues with the whole structure. We see him today drifting around the fringes of the galaxy as a kind of small time grifter and con man, generally trying to keep his head down pretty much. Last time we saw he had after sorting out an issue with a mining speculator trying to take over a small planet. We saw him with Vesh, you'll see in a moment, and their relative on the run from the forces of the Imperium.
Perfect. Thank you so much, David. And then next up is Bethany, the aforementioned player who we're going to hear about now.
Yeah, hi, I'm Bethany. I use they, them pronouns. I am playing Vesh Helion, who is a near human, twice refugee from a planet that the people live in gigantic interwoven trees that kind of eat memories, and they have a few little saplings that they're growing, possibly with the help of TX21, maybe, since, you know, they have a garden, and that is for sure not going to be a problem. No one's memories were going to be eaten. It's fine. It's fine. Nobody's going to mind if they find out. It's good.
Oh, you've just given me the idea I needed for our opening scene, which is you cultivating the seeds with TX21. So let's jump to the aforementioned TX21. Keith, if you could introduce yourself, tell us about your character.
These segues are writing themselves this week. Keith Stetson, I use the he, him pronouns, and I am playing TX21, who will use any pronouns that are available. A former BattleBot repurposed for labor after the fighting, restrained via a bolt for that specific purpose, and eventually liberated by the rebellion, but they didn't know what else to do with TX. So he was left to just kind of make his way in the world and live with the guilt of things done during the fighting, and TX has tried his best to make some sort of amends with that using the skills self-taught, mostly with some repair and programming and stuff, and also trying to do things that biologicals seem to need, including creating food, and is probably unreasonably proud of the courageous little vegetable garden that is pushing through the soil of Findar, and was also helpful in convincing the mining concern to go away and just let me live in peace, because anyone who shows up is going to be bad news for TX, no matter which side of the conflict they were on.
Sadly true. So we open up in the area where Vesh Helion is raising their seeds of a very, very particular tree. So first thing, is this just a patch of the scrublands outside of the not Bridgeton, where we're totally in post-production gonna like do a bunch of voiceover work to put in a much cooler name, and then we do lots of graphic overlays with that cool name as well, so no one ever knows that it was called Bridgeton during the working version of this. So is this out in the scrublands outside of your small village? Is it?
Yeah, I think it's
cool.
It's
So
far
it's
enough
just like
out
this...
that people aren't going to pass by it routinely. I don't think it's super well hidden, but it's definitely not in plain obvious view to everybody.
Cool. And what do we see? Because it's not just seeds now, right? We see some things that are coming up from the ground.
Yeah, there's some little
What does it look
saplings.
like?
Nice. I think there's like rows of. I mean, there's maybe 20 trees total, and they're like knee high. And I think there's just like a couple little clusters in in a patch of like sagebrush kind of stuff that grows there naturally. They're kind of like not nice even rows. They're meant to sort of blend in right now. I'm not sure how fast these trees grow. I think faster than anything else on this planet. I think faster than like your average Earth tree. But by the time they become enormous, city-sized trees, I don't think Vesh has planned that far ahead.
Cool. Awesome. And TX, you are there. What's something you notice about these knee-high? Did you say knee-high saplings? What is something you notice about these saplings that tell you that they are not of this world?
Do they only feed on the memories, or is that like a supplement to their diet?
That's like a supplement. I think they're kind of like carnivorous plants in that they can grow, in normal soil, but insects, or in this case memories, are kind of a supplement and like allow them to grow in places where other plants couldn't.
So I think that's exactly what it is like knowing the conditions, having run several tests on the soil, the pH balance, and the annual rainfall and all that, like things should not be growing this well. And I can't remember, Bethany, I know we had established if TX would know about the memory thing or not, but I don't remember which way we came down on it.
I think if TX knew what kind of trees these were, they could probably just look them up.
Okay, so they're not like
figure it out.
Okay.
Interesting. Nice.
Vesh has their reasons.
Yeah.
So Vesh,
probably not their plans, but their reasons.
One of the saplings isn't doing well at all. It's the one where it just seemed to be nearest this little outcropping of rock where the dirt's a little bit arid. What memory do you feed it?
I think I deliberately, when I come here, think about the most like frivolous, unimportant things I can think of. So it's like something like what I had for dinner last night.
Oh, nice. You give up. You're trained yourself to where you know.
Right. Yeah. I've trained myself not to think about anything important that I need to remember, because like that's gonna fade and I will be missing bits of it. Maybe just like sensations that I remember or something like that. So I just think about, oh yeah, that's
And
what I ate last night. That was really good.
And what's the sensation or feeling or emotion that you get when you know that the tree is pulling that? Is it pleasurable, or is it just odd or different?
I think it's pretty subtle. I think that just whatever I was thinking about, it kind of gradually fades. It becomes like, like a memory of a longer time ago, and then it's like weeks pass as far as that memory is concerned in a few minutes.
And now this question is for TX21. What changes about Vesh's during this process? Like what changes about Vesh's either physicality or their appearance? What is it that you pick up that maybe not even Vesh is aware of, but because you are removed from the situation and observing, you have an opportunity to witness TX?
Well, Vesh knows it's going to happen, and in fact is preparing for it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's what we're saying, is knowing that this tree is going to need a memory. Vesh has called up one of their least important memories. So I think there's probably a look of concentration to keep your mind on that particular thing, because you don't want your mind to wander and think about like, oh, this is how I get back to my house. Oh, crap. Now I'm stuck here forever. But I think there is sort of like just a subtle relaxation as the memory is going, almost like sitting back into a comfortable couch where the muscles are not as taut and the posture is a little more easy. And TX sees this, but is not sure, like correlation versus causation kind of thing. And I realized that the reason that TX, besides wanting to help anyone do anything just to make up for amends, has agreed to this is TX has memories that they would like to get rid of. Lots of them. I don't know if it works on machines, but TX sees this happening to Vesh and is like, all right, if that's how you relax, I'm going to try to relax into it. And maybe that makes you more susceptible to this. And I'm going to say, because I think it's more interesting story-wise, so far, no memories have been taken from TX. But gosh, if he's not trying.
Yeah. Have you like asked me if it would work for you or anything?
I don't think so, because I wouldn't want to be told no.
Okay.
If you know definitely that it's a no, I'd rather not find out and just kind of have my naive...
I don't think I do know.
Yeah, probably not. But that is a chance if you ask that question, right? You have to be prepared for the no.
Right, yes.
And it's kind of like, I don't want to be discouraged. And also, it might be a little embarrassing, because I feel like probably the way Vesh has talked about it is, and correct me if you think this is not how it would go, but people might be not want to give up their memories to these trees, and most folks are really jealously guarding their memories, and kind of like it's not the best thing necessarily to have memories taken out of your head by trees. And here I am like, it sounds pretty good. I don't know if I should admit that though. Like, you already droid biological relations are not the best on Findar already, so I think I'm probably keeping it to myself for now.
Cool.
Probably a good idea. So, Vesh, you do successfully control your memories and kind of funnel that to the poor little sapling, and its leaves straighten out a little bit from the curl, and it straightens up just a a little bit more like if you've ever seen how certain plants, like they'll angle their leaves and lean towards the sun. It leans towards you just ever so slightly, but you feel that slipping away of the memory of whatever it was that you ate last night. And it's something that you ate maybe a week ago or a month ago, or a taste that you enjoyed before you came to this planet, until finally it's gone. And it's quiet out here, just the low sound of the scrub brush moving as the wind brushes across. And you know that the Tika Bremen you're nibbling needs to be protected. Why weren't they brought out here, by the way?
I think that I am encouraging them to stay on the ship. Like
safer. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how much I know about what happened and like who's pursuing them and how they might be doing that.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, why don't you stay here and stay out of sight?
And Tika uses the she/her pronouns.
Okay,
says,
actually, I should look at the NPCs. There we go.
That's okay. Tika says, of course, Easy. Of course, I'll stay here. I'm going to keep working on your comm array. I really need to reach out to some friends.
Cool.
And then you took off. So, yeah, that's Vesh feeding memories to the memory plant. Yay, that's been established. Kit, if you have a scene in mind, cool. Otherwise, I was thinking maybe you're on the shed as Tika is trying to repair the combo.
Yeah, that was the sort of thing I was thinking of. So yeah, I think Kit is I think is probably at the minute offering to help Tika with what she's doing. If it isn't obvious at the outset, it becomes so very quickly that Kit clearly does not repair starships as on the regular, but will be making a genuine, if not very well informed, attempt to help with what he can.
Cool. So yeah, we'll pick up with Tika, who's pulled her hair back into this like loose ponytail, and she's got a pair of goggles on and some kind of like little welding device with another tool. She's trying to splice together a few wires. So you pick up the smell of burning plastic and the smell of soldering. And as she's working, Tika says, Kit, Shadestar, right?
Yes, that's correct, young one.
You can call me Tika.
Very well then, Tika. That is my name for what it is worth these days.
It sounds familiar. How would I know you?
I've been fairly well travelled around the fringe and other parts these past few years. There may have been the odd. I hate to say bounty. It seems so overblown a word, but
It's just your name sounds really familiar to me. I don't think it was a bounty. What brought you here to Findar?
I was looking to move on from the Ordskiller, where I was before this, and there happened to be a freighter heading out this way. I booked passage on it. It was largely chance that brought me here, if such things are to be believed these days. And it's been a pleasant place to spend a little while, nice and quiet, which is a refreshing change from time to time.
I guess. Now, I have a question about Kit. Does Kit hide his lightsaber?
Yes, yeah.
So Tika hasn't seen it then?
No,
you're just some old guy.
Yeah.
Cool. Sweet. So, yeah, Tika, there's that like, I'm trying to remember a thing, and you're giving her the most like benign, boring answers. And I don't think it rises to a conflict or even an uncertainty. It's just one of those, like, you can tell in her expression, or maybe in just the shift of her shoulders, that she now has put you in a box of not interesting, and goes back to work. And she says, well, if you want to get off of the ass end of space, then once I get in contact with my friends, I'm going to convince ZZ to get out of here. And I guess you could come with us.
It would certainly be a nice change. I think if your friends have alternate transport, or we can, and he'll just like kick a heel into one of the floor plates on the freighter, or get this old thing up and running again. But well, you seem to know what you're doing, but I doubt there's anyone good enough to bring this thing back into its prime.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get the comm array online and reach out to my friends. I think the shed is done for. I mean, ZZ can tool around the planet, but what good is there here?
The people of this planet are simple folk, but nice enough. But I would concur there is little to keep one here for an extended period of time, I think. Though your ZZ certainly seems to keep themselves busy with their horticultural projects.
Now, question, is Tika aware that you've got the trees here, Vesh?
I don't know that I've mentioned it.
Nice. So the mention of horticultural all of a sudden like clicks for Tika, and I think she like there's a moment where she like zaps and Carabast. Wait. What do you mean what is Easy up to?
Oh, some form of gardening. They and TX21 are both quite keen at growing plants. I can quite well understand. It's a fine hobby to have, though not one I've devoted much time to, I will admit.
Have you seen what they're growing? She picks up a rag and kind of wraps around her finger.
Some sort of shrubs or trees, I believe.
Oh. And then you hear someone like rap against the hull of the shed. Boom, 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 boom. Hey! And you hear it's a female voice. You recognize it. It's Xena Pellis, the daughter of Old Man Pellis, who recently died. She took over the leather working shop. Kit, are you in there? Vesh?
Yes, just coming, Xena. If you'll excuse me, please, my dear.
think I'm technically hiding. So yeah.
Kit will go down and open the drop the gangplank down.
Cool. And as you do, Tika like gets up from the area where she was working and she heads back to like hide out in one of the cabins. And you see Xena's there. She's come out on her speeder and she looks worried. You know people well enough to kind of read their expressions. And she says, "Hey, there's some trouble in town."
Yes, what sort of trouble? Local or something from further afield?
And then we like smash cut away from that. TX and Vesh, a pair of TIE fighters scream overhead, like zipping past the two of you and come down. And just remember, we established that Bridgeton, it has a little bit of a spaceport possibility to it, and they kind of scream past and both sit down. So yeah, Vesh, TX, once you see that happen, what do you do?
So I mean, does this happen often, or is this like, oh, something bad's going on?
This is something bad's going on. Imperials are on planet, but they
cool.
they're like a continent away usually.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I look at TX like, we should warn Tika. And then I don't know what then, but we should warn Tika.
Not sure what part 2 of the plan is. And I think TX is also a little bit worried for himself on that one. Like, who knows what these folks are. Yeah, got a bad feeling.
Yes, that's a great D4 trait. Oh my god! Anyone who wants to invoke that, you're just you get what you ask for.
I actually have an empty D4 slot, I believe that I.
No opposition.
I do. I'm totally gonna put that in there.
Do it. Oh, so good.
Let's get back to the shed as quickly as we can. Perhaps they're here for another reason.
Cool. Hope so.
How did you guys walk? Like, is this walking distance from the shed or?
I think probably some kind of like speeder bike.
I've got my land speeder. We could take that.
Oh yeah, TX's land speeder. Awesome.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so we cut right back to Xena, who's walking up the gangway quickly, worriedly looking around. Imperials, 2 whole TIE fighters.
I see. That's unusual for this far out. I presume you don't get many Imperial visits around these parts.
Well, there's tax day, but everyone's sent off the credits for it. More or less. They're looking for someone. They had a like a little hollow device. It was some young girl, long hair, maybe in her teens, 20s, look human. You haven't seen anybody, have you?
Did anyone in town seen this person? I can't say as I keep much of an eye out for folk on the run, but
okay. So I think she is worried enough that I'd like to put this to some kind of conflict.
Sure thing. Yeah, that sounds good.
Do you feel like we're in a full-blown conflict thing, or do you think a simple uncertainty will satisfy you?
That's a good question. I think I think it probably, to me, it feels more like just a simple uncertainty, unless she's like really, unless she is committed to like getting the truth out. I think it feels more like
I don't think she is. I think
Yeah.
she just, I stepped onto the ship, I looked at him face to face, and if there's nothing that you give that betrays it, then she'll take what's done is done and head back to Bridgeton. Sweet. So I'll be rolling 2d6.
Yeah.
And
so I guess this will be this is choosing. So this would probably be stealth and deceit. So it's just one trait you pick, isn't it, from the available ones for a simple uncertainty?
this is the part we like stumbled a bit on before.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Is a die roll to resolve something in uncertain? Everybody
it's
agrees.
just the one.
It's just the one.
You'd pick patience, perspective, will, or skill, and then roll the helping dice for
Yes,
them?
that's the
Yeah.
part I was going to say is like, do you roll the helping dice for that? So the helping dice for patience and will, which is 6 dice, is
We'd only roll one of patience or will, I believe.
oh. Right. It's a 3d6. Well, they're both 3d6 qualities for you. So 2d6
Yeah.
helping. So it's 2d6 against 2d6, and we go with the highest of the sum. If they're ties, then we try to process it like a tie.
Cool.
I am bringing pink pit side. I'm going to bring them onto the table and then roll them.
I will go for kind of a blue color then.
And I did not bring on pips, so I'm now re-rolling or bringing out. All right, now I'll move those over and roll them. Oh, goodness. Good luck. I rolled a 3. You rolled a 10. Okay, so she looks at you and she says, okay, well, Kit, if you hear anything, be careful. Be careful. We don't want any Imperials causing more trouble. We just got rid of that one Paul Anised.
Indeed. Yes, you should probably get back to town and just try and keep your head down and out of their way. The others as well. I'm sure this is nothing that they need concern. Sorry, I'll try and phrase that better. This is nothing that I don't think there's anything in town that the Imperials should concern themselves with. But obviously, they can get overzealous when they feel they're being obstructed. So I'd caution you all to stay safe.
Of course, you too, and Vesh. Tell Vesh to stay safe too.
I will do. I'm sure they will be back soon. I'm just here waiting for them.
And then she'll thump back down the gangplank. And then I think maybe Vesh and TX, you guys were headed to the shed and you see the old dilapidated speeder that Xena flies, and she's headed back to town. And she'd give you a wave. And I mean, yeah, she'd probably like wave for you to stop, like, she kind of pull like the two cars that pass each other in a small town. And she gives you the heads up that they're Imperials in town. They're looking for a girl. They got a hollow of her. She's got long hair. Looks like she's maybe in, teens, 20s, hard to tell. But if you've seen anybody like that, you might ought to tell them. They don't look happy. And then she'll take off.
I haven't, but I'll keep my eyes out.
Okay. Be careful. Be safe.
All right.
So
it is as we feared.
Yeah. So much for hoping they were looking for somebody else.
We need to find out how certain they are that Tika is here. Perhaps they're just searching everywhere.
2 TIE fighters, that seems Maybe they're not certain. Yeah.
We'd best make sure she's safe first of all.
Yes, definitely. And I didn't expect them to show up so soon. Don't imagine she's got the comms array working yet.
I can't remember if Tika said what she had done that she was running from the Emperor.
I mean, we've got the situation, so I
It
think
was the
you
codes.
guys are all aware. You know, she's got some codes, and in fact, I'm pretty sure I had her say that. But yeah, she's got some codes to something big in Zinj's plans, and she's got to get it to the New Republic.
Oh, there was something about the Star Destroyer, the kind that Zinj has, or something like that. Or I don't know what it was.
Cool. So maybe we cut to you guys, Vesh and TX coming aboard the shed, and Tika's out. Two TIE fighters? That's not so bad. You're a
expecting?
combat droid. We can just go take them out.
Tika Bremen, I regret to inform you, it is not so simple. Even if we were to simply take them out, as your colorful phrase puts it, that would merely indicate, with a glowing red star, exactly where you are and where they should send the larger squadron to follow up on the two that are destroyed.
Well, only if I stay here. We could just take them out and take one of their TIE fighters. I know it doesn't have a hyperdrive. We could get pretty far.
That seems like it might be a problem. How are you going to take them out without taking out their TIE fighters? And this, yeah. We just confirm to them that you're here, and then, okay, sure, you're in a TIE fighter. They would know that, and you wouldn't have a hyperdrive. So
yes, I think in the first instance, we should probably be looking to, well, as you have been doing, getting in touch with your allies and getting away off of this planet. Though, yes, whether if they think they have tracked you here, we can probably rest assured that there will be further
Imperial entanglements?
Indeed.
Yeah. Well, the fact that I came here and not but a day later, TIE fighters are here, and I heard that girl. She said they have a holo of me.
yeah. That's what she said, yeah.
Zizi, we need to get off planet, and we should probably get the stuff you've been cultivating.
I think I look at Kit like, wait, how does she know that? Yeah, we should probably do that. Okay. They'll be at the spaceport right now, so that's probably not.
I'm not going to get this comm array fixed unless I get some parts. I've got a parts list I've been building as I go, but some of these things are, we don't have a fab. It's not like we have a fab machine here. So I've got to get them, and I don't know where to get them from, because I'm sorry, but where would I find these kind of things? It's not like there's a junkyard around here or a parts shop or anything.
Familiar with this problem, yeah. Why do you think the comm array doesn't work?
Sorry. Yes, of course. That makes sense, Cece. Sorry. If I just sit tight, I mean, they're Imperials. They're not just going to give up.
No. No, they're not. So we have to get past them.
I still think stealing the TIE fighter is like the best idea that we've had. Sorry. No offense to everybody else.
How fast can your friends get here? Once you call them.
Once I call them, they should be close. They're on the New Republic side of the border, which from here to Findar, or from Findar to here, Findar to there, it's about 14 hours in, hyperspace.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Okay.
Well, if the Imperials have landed some sort of shuttle here or other craft, we might be able to retrieve some of the parts we need from that. It would be risky, of course, but
I mean, there's plenty of communication equipment at the spaceport. The problem is getting in, using it, and getting out again without the Imperials finding out.
I mean, that's true, ZZ. If you don't want to fix the comm array here, we could just go to the spaceport. I'm sure we can make a call there.
I mean, the Imperials will be at the spaceport, which makes it a little more interesting, but
they would certainly be watching that location to find if you are here.
Yeah.
They know what you need, perhaps even more intimately than you do.
Okay. Well,
I know that youth does not wish to hear the counsel of patience, but I think that is the best thing for you to do. And let us work and try to get things ready for when it is time for you.
Okay. I'll give you my friend's ship, the transponder codes, and I guess some stuff to tell them so they would know it's coming from me. And I guess I stay here and you go reach out.
That would work. I don't know that. It seems like a place people. Did anyone see you come here?
I don't think so.
Okay, because that I don't think anybody. And that's just kind of thinking like, okay, who would be pissed off at me right now? So anything I've done to anybody that would, make them inclined to point Imperials in this direction.
I don't know. I think Vesh has been here for a bit. So if you
if
you left a trail, they probably would have followed up on it. I'm pretty sure that the inciting incident is your nibbling, Tika.
What I'm thinking is like the Imperials are just landed, are going to be asking around, and someone might point them in my direction if
Oh yeah,
if they have reasons to do that.
That is a very likely thing.
Okay. It's like, I'm sure I've annoyed somebody a lot. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, I'm not sure the ship is really a good hiding place. I'm not sure it's much better than coming with us.
Well, Cece, you tell me what should I do right now?
That is an excellent question. I'm trying to think of the answer to that too. I am kind of coming up blank for ideas of what to do about other than like get to the spaceport and use like, I'm sure there's comms equipment there that we could use to call this other ship, but
So we're wondering
this
about
ship does fly, sort of.
like how to call the ship is one problem. Keeping Tika safe, because I don't know about Kit, but there is certainly at least a very good reason for TX or Vesh to get the finger pointed at them with these stormtroopers walking around. So that could be an issue and put her in danger along with us. So we need to not get in trouble, stop her from getting in trouble, and contact the cavalry.
Yeah.
And you guys just kind of talking out and above. Well, Tika's like steal TIE fighter, fly away. That would probably work out not great for Tika, but is an option. However, the Imperials will make an example out of this town for aiding and abetting a rebel sympathizer.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't want them to know that she's here, period. Even if they would only find out after she escapes. Maybe we could hide the ship. Like I said, it does fly. We could, I don't know, maybe find some place to fly it to after we like go to the spaceport, make the call, and then hide the ship.
Like hide on the ship and stick it somewhere in the desert.
Yeah.
I don't know that we have anything better.
I was like, it's not a great plan, but it's the only thing that's popping in my head.
The options I've heard thrown out are take the shed, fly out to the middle of nowhere, sit tight for a while, or sneak onto the spaceport, try to make a call out for Tika's friends to come here and pick her up.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking both, like make the call and then go hide in the desert.
It's not a terrible combo.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, fun. So the information that Tika gives you is that her friends are the crew of a primarily Twi'lek run ship known as the Desert Flower, and that the captain of the Desert Flower his name is Cham Syndulla, who's current there, and her best friend in the whole galaxy is Tags Earthburner, who's the first mate. So they are currently in the NPCs tab now if you want to go take a look, but it's not like, it's just the info I just told you. And yeah, I'm curious, who's leading the fray, and are other folks helping? And shall we jump to the scene where you're trying to sneak aboard? And
so we're trying to get into the spaceport comms.
Yeah.
My first thoughts about that.
Mhm.
If the Imperials weren't crawling around, it is quite believable that TX might be asked to help repair something, and could show up and very stealthily handle all that.
Mhm.
But with the crew of 2 TIE fighters, probably one of them staking out the spaceport, that seems like an issue. I think Kit might be the only one, although I don't know all of Kit's backstory, that could walk past an Imperial without raising an eyebrow, perhaps. Maybe Vesh could if no one has dropped a dime on them, but
Yeah, I think if nobody's actively looking for Vesh, they could probably
where did you come
go
down on
unnoticed.
the does it seem like someone might have pointed them my way to get revenge?
That is a good question. I've been here long enough. I do a lot of stupid things. It seems like I probably have some, at least, some people who might not even like actively hate me and want me dead, but think that if a finger has to be pointed at someone, I might be a good option.
And I could see Tundur throwing TX-21 under the space bus.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, good point.
Which is like, I already had that one. That's already happening in the background.
That's happening as we speak.
Oh no, little girls who might be in the 1920s. No, but I've seen a battle droid. Would you be interested in a battle droid?
Yeah, battle droid. Also, just as an aside, Tundur may have the parts you need to fix the comm array as well.
This is true. That might that might be a better option.
Sorry to throw more options at you, but
looking at these other. Yeah, he's the only one who would have parts.
So, what's the plan?
I think I just look at Kit and like, do you know anybody at the spaceport?
I guess what is stopping us from just having Kit go to the spaceport, like just someone who lives here, using the comms array to send the message? There's got to be a reason that we don't do something that simple.
I don't know. That seems like that seems like a reasonable thing to do.
Yeah.
Which means I'm sure it will go horribly wrong, but I don't think there's any reason for us not to try that.
Yeah. I feel like there's probably some sort of controls over who can access the spaceport comm stuff. Like, I feel like there's probably somebody who has at least some kind of semi-official role to do with it. Whether they would be persuadable to allow this to happen is one thing, and obviously whether there may be Imperial interference with that as well is also a thing. I mean, obviously, I guess the question is, are we interested in making that initial getting in contact with the New Republic difficult or not, or do we want to like make that getting in touch something we can do easily, and then have the aftermath of that be more complicated from the other side, I suppose? Because in some ways it feels like it would sort of make sense, but it also feels a bit like too easy. So I guess it's if people want that bit of it to be easy, that's fine. But yeah,
I mean, I was generally envisioning it was you're not going to walk in broad daylight. It would be sneaking into the spaceport at night, stuff being locked, overcoming those obstacles, all the while there probably are Imperials who are around. That was what I was getting in my head.
That was the same sort of idea that I had initially coming into it as well. Yes, that's why I thought, probably. I like certainly I think probably both from a sort of what would seem to make sense, even though this is a small settlement, and just from the drama side of things, I will say probably isn't just as easy as being able to just walk in and like say, oh, I'm just going to use the comms. Is that cool?
Right, because you also don't want the Imperials to go, hey, how did that person go here? Check these logs. Oh, you let this happen? Kill this person, imprison this person. You want to be sneaky about it. Is everybody on board with that as a potential challenge slash scene?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Cool. Let's take like a quick it's 14 after. Let's take like 6-minute break, and then we'll jump straight into that. Okay, so we pick back up with it growing dark, the sun setting in like a time lapse bit, setting across the scrub lands off to the west, and then do we pull in on all three of you sneaking onto the spaceport, maybe coordinating in some way? What do we think? What's the picture that we see?
So I was thinking over the break that the thing that makes the most sense for TX to do is to hide in a hole until this is over, and that's so boring.
So exciting.
I was like, I feel like this character in this system might not be a good match, because what he wants is everything to stay the same, not to have exciting adventures. So I think I'm going to have to go against some of that, just have something to do. So yeah, we can work in why it's logical. I'm happy to tag along and figure out why that makes sense.
Good.
As we go.
Yeah, I feel like TX21 is probably the person or the being that it makes most sense to actually be doing the accessing the comms and stuff. Yeah, because that definitely seems to be in their area of expertise.
And Vesh, you've got a pretty heavy stake in this, right? So makes sense that you're along.
Yeah, exactly. So I am along to do whatever needs doing, even though this is not my area of expertise. But just in case you need a distraction or something, I'm there. Or getaway driver or something.
And Kit, you're a Jedi, so you're good at everything. People you just show up and they make you a general. It's
exactly, yeah. But no, yeah, I certainly from my own perspective in this one, I'm happy to take more of a supporting role in this particular encounter, as it were. I think this is. I think Kit will probably be kind of running like lookout type thing, but I'm happy. I've already done one sort of big challenge so far, so I'm happy to let someone else take the lead on this one.
Nice. Okay. Well, I have a general idea how we're going to run this. I think we'll just pick up with the three of you sneaking aboard the spaceport, which I think is just a couple of landing pads, poor Duracrete, and then a small tower. There's a place called Mos Shuta that is located on Tatooine. It's from an Edge of the Empire thing, and it had a pair of landing pads that were its spaceport, and that's kind of generally what I'm thinking of here, just to model that over. So I have a sense of what's what. I don't even know if I still have that PDF easily available, but there's a small tower that people could go into. But again, keeping with our fly-by-night operation, it's probably big enough for like I'm imagining half of a trailer, single wide trailer is kind of what the command tower is. It just happens to be a little bit high up and probably painted on the top of it in Abesh or in the, Galactic Basic is the name of your town, which of course we'll cleverly CGI edit in whenever we come up with a better name. And it's shut down at night, right? Because nobody's taking off or landing. But there are, as the three of you approach as we look at our little map dealie, I'm thinking that it's somewhere, if you look where section 6, the way station and the tent market, if you imagine that there's a road that runs off to the east, if you're looking at that map, which is on columns M, N, and O on the NPCs and Places tab, then off to the east there, not pictured, is actual official spaceport. And that is where you guys are headed. And sure enough, it turns out that there are a couple of stormtroopers who are patrolling the area because challenge is fun. And they are keeping their wary eyes out for any interlopers because, hey, if you're trying to leave this place, the spaceport is the place to go. So who would like to lead this? Obviously, our opening role would be somewhere in the order of stealth and deceit. Who's our leader? Who's the follower?
I don't. So I guess. Oh, we're supposed to do stakes first, right?
Yeah,
because I think that'll help with that. Because if we're doing do we want to just do one big thing, like the whole, we are able to send the message out, or is this breaking it up into smaller stakes?
I think the stake is, do you get the message out, or are you caught?
All right, then I think it probably makes sense if I go with that, since that's the ultimate thing that I want to be doing, is send the message, even if I'm not the stealthiest of stealthers.
Sweet.
Let's remember how this works.
Awesome. Good. So let's do remember how it works. Okay. I've got my elite Imperial Ranger, but I'm just gonna do a thing where I take a snapshot of that picture so that I don't have to. I'll drop that in so that I can go to a different place on the PDF. There we go.
All right, so we've agreed the arena of conflict starts with stealth and deceit. We've agreed to the stakes of getting the message out. GM has already set the stage. And I guess we're taking action, so it makes sense for us to make the first raise.
That makes sense.
We're going to assemble dice. So I'm going to take dice for... Oh, actually, I might get free heart dice with this.
Ooh.
Imperial authorities?
100%. I think Imperial authorities are absolutely at play here.
So I get 76 and a very sexy D4. That's not what you want with that.
Is that why you didn't argue so hard for it?
No. We don't need it. We don't need that.
Cool. All right. And I am going to delete off the dice that are present. And your yellow dice are now on the board, but you're going to roll them. Oh, by the way, friends, cool thing. You can, at the top, enter a die to count to create multiple. If you're already doing that, Keith, awesome. I didn't realize you could do that thing, but you can do that. So
I just saw it and I was like, yeah, let's try it. What happens if I put 76? Oh, saves me.
Yeah, because I suggested it to John Grimm, the creator of this wonderful, and he says, it's there.
Great suggestion, Rich. So good it's already been implemented.
Exactly. And yeah, I think I know what I'm doing. So here we go with my lovely opening foray. Yay, it even came in as pips. This is the best. Now, just so, Keith, so we're on the exact same procedure. Are you bringing your dice in and then rolling?
Yes.
Okay, I am as well. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page.
Sadly, this is the roll.
Oh, 2 6s, bro. That's not so bad.
All
Let's
those
see, do I have
ones.
anything else I can bring in my opening thing? Let's see. So I've got the stealth and deceit. Do I have anything else? I don't think authoritarian cruelty applies here.
So
They're
you
not
get
fighting.
Did you use your baseline conflict dice and stealth and deceit dice?
Oh, I did not. I just did stealth and deceit. Should I do that?
It says you get your baseline conflict dice too.
Oh, dear God. You're
But
in
for
trouble.
some reason, my PDF is only loading certain pages, so I can't see what those are.
Okay. Well, I brought in that, so I got to bring in some more dice. Here they come. And I'll move them down here, but they have not been officially rolled. That's going to happen in just a second. All right. I have now rolled all my dice, and I'll arrange them. And oh, goodness gracious, that looks pretty good. I'm into this. This guy's not terrible at
Got a lot of dice.
finding bad guys. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the baseline conflict dice and stealth and deceit for this NPC. So
We should not have messed with these people. Quick, look up the rules for helping everybody.
yeah, does someone want to help right now? Right?
I'm trying to. Where is it anyway? We're gonna need to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I will help. I'm looking up the rules for that. I'm trying to find the rules for that.
Interrupting a conflict on page 13.
Okay.
Joining a conflict for PCs.
Oh, that's probably what I want. Yeah.
Okay.
Side.
Roll your helping dice for the
for
two
the two
qualities
qualities.
appropriate to the current arena of the conflict. And where current arena is stealth and deceit. So you've got a 3 and a 4. That would be in helping dice. This is a thing where I just wish that I had a helping dice and a cheat sheet.
3 to 4 is 2d6.
Yeah, so you're rolling 4d6. Because the way I
Okay.
read that is you're reading it for both qualities that would be applied.
Okay.
Seems like it.
Cool. Oh, I have to actually click it. There we go.
And it does say any number of PCs can join a conflict as
That's
supporting
true.
allies.
Kit can also do the thing.
And it seems like it's basically the same thing that I would be doing, but the other players can volunteer to make a raise or see the raise.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm seeing as well.
Okay. So what do I do with these dice now that I have them? I have
Bring
a
'em
1,
out.
2 5s, and a 6.
Oh, okay. You can just array them to the right of the yellow dice. And Keith, as TX21, will be leading things. And if Dave, if you want to sit pat and then jump in to help later, that's totally cool too. Just don't feel like you're excluded. You can help any moment that you want. All right.
Rich, the two dice that are hidden behind the yellows, are they also yours, or did they get
I
left
don't
behind?
see any 2 dice hidden behind the yellows. This is what my screen looks like.
Are the ones I just put there hidden behind the yellows?
No, there's the
Okay.
purpley ones. Interesting. 1, 2, 2, 3.
Huh.
There is I shouldn't tell you this then. No, wait. That's so weird. On my version, your 6 is hidden behind one of my dice, and on yours, it's pulled out. Okay.
Okay. That's good. There's no extra dice. They just the placement seems to
just
be
shows different.
asynchronous, a placement, I don't know. A
I
present.
can't grab it either. It's stuck behind one of my 3s.
Huh.
Weird.
I'm gonna hide
Oh,
all
yeah.
your good dice. Ha ha ha.
No, I used to have good dice and he broke the system. All right, cool. So we've got our stakes, we've got our dice, and now in any order, both sides agree. Initial GM set the stage. Everyone is what's there, what's happening. All right, so let's do a little bit of that. I think that's a cool thing. We've got our control tower, which is your endpoint. We've got a pair of kind of rounded Duracrete landing spots that both have TIE fighters there. They are inert. And then there's a central kind of set of walkways. You guys are coming from the town. So we'll say that your initial position is just past Way Station. Way Station being the place that is run by Rutters, his diner. Oh, I'm sorry. No, the diner's 4. So what is Way Station? Oh, Way Station is like the entry point and official, where you would get records and all that good stuff. The administration office of the spaceport. So you're heading from that point and trying to cross across the Duracrete area. You see there are a couple of stormtroopers, and they're pretty much the only people here. This is a relatively wide open space. So moving from your current position to there is what's dicey. And good. Hopefully that makes sense. And now both sides agree who will make the first raise, launching the conflict into action. I think we'd said you guys were making the first raise because you're the ones that are encroaching. So go for it.
So I'm thinking there's like a creek bed, a dried creek bed that seasonally would have a small river in it, but right now is dry. And so we're crouched down in there, kind of scurrying towards the spaceport, trying to stay out of sight. And we'll put some dice forward for that. Does it make sense to just use the best dice to start? I don't see why not. We're going to have to bring in dice and take turns and stuff to win anyway. So let's make these imps burn some dice. Although, let's see, if I do a 6 and a 6, you're definitely going to have to do 3. Do a 6 and a 9, you could see it in 2. Oh heck, I'm just gonna do it. We're going big. 12.
That is nasty. That's gonna force me to take the blow on the very opening salvo. Yeah, that's awesome. So 12. That means I've got to take it. The best I can do is take it in 3 dice. And I think that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So So what does that look like? Right? I'm taking it in 3 dice, which means I take a blow. I'll get some fallout out of this.
When you take the blow, say your opponent's raise lands and what effect it has on you.
Sweet. So you guys pop up from the creek bed, and I think that as you're sneaking across nearly to the control tower, the troopers maybe hear a noise off towards the diner, opposite direction. They take the blow. They've fallen for your attempt at subterfuge, and they fail to see you guys coming. But now I get to make a move out. So we'll just move those 2 6s and delete them. Is that okay?
Yeah, we sweep, I think, every... Oh, you got to do something with your fallout.
Yeah, I just moved it off to the right-hand side. And I'm deleting the 2d6s that you had. I'm putting those over as fallout for our wonderful guys. Now so as raise and C, I took the blow. Now they're going to come back. And I think what we have is the simple of what do you think that was? I don't know, but maybe you should go on patrol. And then one of the stormtroopers will be doing a circular with a flashlight, which I'm sure has a Star Warsy name. We'll just call it a torch of some kind. But I found a Wikipedia entry of everyday items and of real world objects and Star Wars equivalents, which just delights me that it even exists. Glow rod. There we go. Thank you, Wikipedia. You are wonderful. And this is what I'm putting forward. An 11. He's hunting hard. Trying hard to see you. There's no way you can turn the blow. But yeah, the stormtrooper TX 124 is seeking guys out with a glow rod. Oh, that's right. You are a TX. So we'll give him a different designate. TO 124 and TO 133 are the two troopers who are here. So yeah, I've put it forth the 11. How are you going to see that?
Does Vesh want to jump in for that with your?
I was gonna say, is this where I can?
Because otherwise, I mean, I can also bring in dice and stuff if we want to sit on that. Although I think you can also bring in dice later, so it's not like that's all you've got.
Right. But if you have to take the blow, I think the fallout, like taking the blow means you will be seen. Doesn't mean you're stopped, but it means that they're going to know.
Yeah,
something's up is kind of what it feels like what happened there.
Do I have to match it or just, or do I have to beat
it
or
just
match it?
You can match it.
Okay, cool. Because I mean, I've got,
You've got 11 exactly. Yeah, you can totally match it on 2 dice. So how do you help Fish? Like, what does that look like as you avoid detection?
I think I just I make a sound that sounds imitate like some kind of night bird or something, some naturally occurring thing that they would just be like, oh, okay, it's just that. I don't know what is a native nocturnal animal here. Can't think of a good Star Warsy name for one.
Yeah, that's tough because searching for birds is not going to give me a whole lot.
Right. Yeah. I mean, whatever the local equivalent of an owl is.
Cool.
Probably some sort of weird lizard.
Yeah. There you go. Weird lizard.
Yeah.
A weird flying lizard. It's Star Wars.
Flying lizard's awesome. That is the best. Sweet. So you see that and avoid detection is the trooper was sent around out of the circle. He just reaches up.
Yeah, I think it's some kind of lizard owl. Keep looking.
Cool. Now you guys can put forward something, and might be good to either escalate things or
bring in some dice would not be the worst.
Bring in some dice.
I'm wondering maybe I might throw my helping dice into the pool at this stage.
Do it.
As it seems like a decent moment to do so. I'll just pick a different color. I'll go, so I think I'm the same again in that I'll be 4d6 because I've got a 2 and a 3. Sorry, a 3 and a 3. No, 3 and a 4. Sorry, I'm confusing myself.
3 and a 4, so that'd be 4 D6.
No, sorry, no, it's 3 and 3. So yeah, 4d6. And I think maybe the way I think the way that as we kind of move on from sort of this ditch that we've been in, I think maybe it's sort of Kit just sort of takes the lead for a moment, and it's not that we don't see any kind of like obvious sign of the force being used, but I think there's that moment where he just kind of like holds out a hand and everyone pauses for a moment, and then the person comes around from the corner of the building kind of thing, and
yeah, I love that. Sweet. So I think you're pushing forward the stealth and deception led by the force. How many dice are you pushing forward here? Or what dice? You'll push forward 2 dice. If you go high on that, I'm gonna have to take the blow regardless and then
I'm gonna put a 9 forward from my dice.
Nice. Okay. If you put forward that 9, I have to meet it, but I'm gonna do it burning a few extra dice. I don't want to save that too. I don't care. I'd rather give than if I get down to that point. So there we go. I'm taking the blow. So I think that you guys make your way to the control tower, like inside the control tower at this point, to feel like a proper result. There's a moment where one of Kit blocks you guys from heading any further. It felt like you could crawl into the control tower and something just happens to pass by, but they are unaware of your presence. And you guys get into the control tower. I haven't given conflict, so I think what I'd like to do is just kind of change the angle of this and the next part of this conflict. And call me out if you think this is an appropriate tilt, but I was thinking we could change the arena of conflict to action and striving, in that you are now trying to activate it and get the communication out. Does that feel fair and make sense?
Well, and also it's your raise, so you can escalate anyway.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm going to action and striving, which is they are still mentally like trying to stay alert and aware, and you have to defeat how do we switch all this on and get this communication out in time before they discover us. So that is what I'm going with. I'm going to bring some dice into the fray. 3d6 and 3d8. I don't think I can do a comma thing, so I'll just type in 2 different sets of commands. Okay. Not awesome, but I just saw that 8, so that is pretty great.
It's like, you got 8, 6, 5, 6, 5.
I'm into it. I saw the less than awesome bits. I'm gonna push you guys hard. So you get in, and I guess TX maybe it's a thing where do you have like a little insertion rod thing like R2D2?
Oh yeah, those are super cool.
Like, you start to dial in. You see there's some new code. Maybe these guys tried to bring this up to Imperial standards, but it's not what you expected. And that is me pushing forward a total of 14. I lead with my highest dice because that's just the kind of Imperial I am.
I don't like waiting around. That's why I always leave. Just get them out of the way. All right. It's time to roll some more dice now that we're tinkering. Something about, don't I have some kind of ex-Imperial thing here that would be a good one?
You've got that 2 there from your T4.
Well, I'm looking at new things there.
I know. I just like joking about that because it's such a great little trait.
Does it make sense? Well, definitely Tinker's Hands makes sense. Okay, that's what I'm going for here. Oh, and wait, when you've escalated, I don't roll my escalation yet.
I think that's right. I think it's only on your raise that you can add in the new dice.
Gosh, you guys could get in a little bit of trouble then. Interesting. You bring dice into play for army and reputation, traits, belongings by including them materially in a raise or C. Oh, that's scary. Okay. Wow. I'm going to put a hurt on you in my 14 then.
But yeah, I don't think that I automatically roll the raise. I think I have to decide because I could theoretically still stay in stealth and deceit if I had wanted to.
This says, but okay, you can bring in harmony actions. I'm on page 10 of the PDF. Bringing in dice. and I'm sorry we're on session 3 and I'm still reading the PDF. You can bring dice into play for your harmony actions, your reputation, your traits, your belongings, and tools of opportunity by including them materially in a raise or a C. And C is what you're doing. So I do think you can bring dice into play here.
Yeah, I can bring dice in, but not the escalate.
Okay.
Actually, no. That might also, it might be the case that you might be able to see with your new dice because they have already escalated. I think it's you can't choose to escalate when you are seeing, but the fact they have escalated might mean that you can.
You can raise up to meet that.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, that makes
but
sense. To me.
I could be wrong, but that's
certainly not clear.
Well, I think if you think about the whole like going for talking to a gunfight, which is Dogs in the Vineyard style, and also feels Star Wars-y going to talk to a gunfight, you bring out your gun too in response to person bring out their gun to shoot at you. Like it feels right to me that you can't escalate on a C, but I've escalated, so you can bring in those dice because I've escalated to that point. So every quality that you've not already rolled may be rolled. And action and striving is what we're doing, which means that you have not used either of those qualities. You seem skeptical.
No, I'm just trying to figure out if that's right or not. And
okay.
I can't tell, so let's just do it.
Okay.
I'm not sure what Vincent would want from that, but I'm okay with the logic. So, action and striving then would give me 8d6 and would make it the opposite of scary. Because a lot more dice are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
No, I got to re-roll them. Although, I think David's dice might be hiding beneath them.
I see David's dice as a 1 and a 5 off to the right.
I've gotten to the upper left where my dice are appearing. So weird. And now they just teleported.
Because David moved them. Yeah, it's a weird thing.
It's a lot of lousy dice and some tolerable ones.
Some pretty overall not amazing dice.
All right. And I do want to roll in the Tinker's Hand, which is 1d10.
Good luck.
All right, you come over here and be a good number. All right, so I don't see any way that we don't take the blow on this.
I think you're taking the blow.
Well, sorry, what was it that they were doing again?
Great question. So I think that what I was putting forth is that there's new software on here. So that was my raise, is that they've tried to bring this up to Imperial Code, which is more advanced than you anticipated or expected.
So we'll do 5, 5, 4. So the fallout isn't too terrible. Yeah, and I think I'm picturing Vesh and Kit are kind of hunched over. STX is in there with a and like it interfaces, right? But it's when I'm trying to do stuff, and this is new code. I've never seen this before. I'm going to have to try to do a workaround. It's not going to be elegant.
Yes. That's perfect. I'm into that.
So they're definitely going to know we're here. So those go over to Fallout Town.
Yes, they do. They go to Fallout Town. Carry them over to the right-hand side, and we'll keep that memory. And I'm going to delete out my 8 and 6. They did their job. Good job, 8 and 6.
Still got some big dice over there. So is there anything else? And also, Bethany and David, you can bring in dice if you have anything you see here that would be useful on your sheet.
Oh, okay. I thought we were just like stuck with the helping dice only. All right.
Oh, thanks for saying that, Keith, because this is fun. I'm really happy that we're doing a team up thing, even though it's a little clumsy on my part overall, but it's fun to see this in play.
Oh, I have 2d6 secretive.
That seems like 2d6 you should be rolling right now.
Yeah. I don't know why they're purple, but oh, because I had to reload the page. That's why. And reload them. Or reload them. Oh, look, snake eyes. That's very helpful.
There are so many ones on the board right now. So many ones.
There's so much lovely fallout here.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try and bring in a couple of dice as well. So I'm going to bring in. I have a 1d8 in quick and cunning, which feels like it's appropriate to to the situation at hand. So I'll roll that into a. Oops. A 2. And the other dice I want to bring in at this point, because I think this could be interesting, is my D4 for my trait of it looks like they remember me.
Oh my god, that's terrifying.
I feel like any harmony, any good harmonies? Nope, that doesn't make sense.
Don't forget you've got harmonies.
There's a lot of places to look on the character sheet. But I think the only other thing I'm going to bring in is my word that I will help and not harm, since I'm trying to help out Tika. It's only a D6 though, so it's not likely to be all that helpful. Let's see. That one. Yeah, just another 3 on my pile of 3s. All right, so given that we know Rich can dodge any blow up to 11, we can't make anything bigger than that. We can't even get up that high.
You know what's funny is that like the dice are telling the story of this is not y'all's forte, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So is the smart thing to do here just to like put forward some ones?
Well, so there's a danger to that. If you put forward something incredibly low, I can turn the blow. And
oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
That can be bad for you.
Yeah.
So it can't be less than a 6.
Yeah. I'm wondering, I might put forward a couple of my dice for this one. I think I'm going to go for I'm going to put forward 5 and a 2.
Okay.
And I think I think this is kind of the point when the sort of the troops are kind of heading back towards the control tower. And I think Kit kind of slips away from the rest of the group for the moment, and we just kind of see him, looking out of a window, and like there's sort of a maybe like one of those sort of boarding ramp type things that you get at airports, and the ramp bit of it just like slams down onto the ground with a big clatter to like cause a distraction.
Oh, neat. Okay, so that is undeniable too. So that's perfectly framed. I am into it. Okay, so then 5 and a 2. I can't easily reverse the blow. I think what I'm going to do here is just see it with a 5 and a 2 of my own so that I can keep those really nice dice. So, you are able to distract the stormtrooper, but it's a block, so you haven't completely won over things yet. So he's still looking. Now there's a noise, right? So I think it's a thing where he calls over his stormtrooper buddy. They're coming over to look at that. You see another couple of glow rods as the other 2 stormtroopers are making their way to this point. Obviously there's some activity. They are there could be a second team. If only you guys had a second team. It's a bummer, really. But yes, I think that is successful in making sure that you are not discovered. And I'll go ahead and delete those dice. And this is where I put forth the written action and striving. So I don't think I can make this into an attack. But I think that what is the undeniable action is that there are countermeasures within the software that you're trying to infiltrate TX that will basically notify, kind of set off a klaxon or an alarm here. Which then means if you guys don't see that blow, you're sitting in the area that's saying, hey, there are problems here. So that's my last really big set of dice that I'll probably collect.
It's a big set of dice.
That's an 11 I put forth.
So me or somebody else is going to need more dice, I think, if we want to not set off this alarm, because we can't do an 11, right?
I don't see an 11 in the cards, friends.
Yeah, just to clarify, we can't combine our dice. Is that right? Or
that's
I don't think you can, because I think it's your action. But
sure, yeah, no, that makes sense.
I'm not sure.
I think that's how it goes. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought.
I could do 1d6 for my name. I have a reputation for being good at getting out of trouble, but it seems like pure luck. Nobody knows how I do it, including me. I've got a d4. I've got a bad feeling about this. That won't help at all. Yeah,
you've got a 5, so you need to get a 6. You need to get a 6 to block this.
All right, I got one. Well, I mean, it depends what it's going to roll. But I've got droids don't tire, and so we're buying time, and I'm running through instead of just a simple thing to do this, I'm running through all the algorithms, trying all the codes, just going through every possible permutation of the numbers. And maybe it'll be good. Get over here, you.
I think your name could possibly be brought in here too.
It's a 7.
Nice
Excellent.
Woo, staying alive. Okay.
Sweat forming on Vesh's brow. We hear just the louder whirring. It's kind of like the spin cycle on your desktop of when it's running way too many programs for TX. The fan starts to kick in so you don't overheat. But it looks like you've got enough dice to put forward to see this, right?
Yeah, the thing that sucks is I don't have a 4 though, so I gotta use one of the 5.
So you're going over. You're like wasting
overshoot. Yeah. I don't know what other dice the Imperials might bring in later, though.
What does it look like as you shut down that kind of alarm system? Because you've blocked it, so it's done.
I feel like it's close, though. Just like the way the dice were coming out, it makes it feel like it was just barely like skin of the teeth kind of thing. And I'm almost wondering if it's like, well, you're in action striving, so maybe it's not too much. They're like, you don't see a lot, right? You just see kind of like the whirring of the interface, and I'm picturing it like an old school klaxon, like maybe it's in over here, like off to the side, and it starts to spin up, and rather than it being anything in the code, TX just takes his giant gun arm and goes and smashes it before it actually goes off.
No, you broke part of it. Oh no,
it wasn't going to be elegant, right? We've got the fallout already. They're going to know we were here doing something
awesome. And I think what makes sense to me at this point, checking in, I feel like you've achieved your objective, but I see a follow-up conflict of like, now we got to get out of here as a possibility. Does that feel okay to you guys? That makes sense? Because escalating at this point, they haven't seen you. You've done a good job of distracting them, but there's a lot of them, and all 4 of them are buzzing around this point thinking something is going on, but they haven't seen you in the control tower. You achieve your objective. You send out the message to the desert flower. You get a handshake connection for the comm, and you hear back Message received. We're on our way. And now let's roll our Fallout. So I'm going to blitz out everything except for the Fallout dice so that we can calculate those. Right?
Yep.
Because the conflict's done. Okay, just making sure.
I think so. Well, there's one thing. So is it that you've given the stakes then? Because we didn't.
Yeah, the stakes were,
pressing.
do you communicate? And I think I gave
I just mean specifically, like, if you decide not to go until you've lost all your dice, I think you get a little Benny in a follow-up conflict.
Yeah, I would like a Benny in a follow-up conflict. I think it's I get to keep my unused dice, which are 2d1s. So I don't think that's great.
No, you definitely get those ones. Use them.
Sure.
They're right there for you. My PDF is being a real pain and not letting me search anything. That's fun.
Okay, well, let's take a minute and roll and resolve the Fallout dice you accumulated in this conflict. I have in the Fallout dice. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Where's the Fallout thing? I was looking at it just a minute ago. Okay, these were physical, not dangerous. Because dangerous is physical, you could get hurt, right? So physical, not dangerous, and you will be rolling d6s.
Okay. And yes, you do get to keep the one. Congratulations.
Awesome. That's what I'm all about, keeping ones.
Gonna win for it. So I have 3d6 then.
And I have 66. And you keep the best two and add them up. Is that 3, 6, and 6?
Yeah, now I'm getting the 6s.
So no ones. And so you got a 12 and I got a 10. No, I got an 11. 12 and an 11. Okay. What happens on a 12 and an 11? The 11 is long-term fallout. 12 plus is 2 long-term fallouts.
Although I think you do it differently for the NPCs just to make it more confusing.
No, I don't want to do it different. Really? Is that true? I guess
Fallout for NPCs since the on page 12
doesn't track quality traits. Okay, yeah. Most NPCs only suffer for short-term fallout and injury. 2 highest fallout for short-term fallout conflicts, even if they sum to 8 or more. Okay, they're short-term fallout.
So okay.
Okay, fair enough. Here's what it is. Follow-up conflict gets your 2. The opponent gets your 2 best fallout dice. Oh my gosh, I'm giving you my 2 best fallout dice. Here you go. That
Yay.
sucked. And what do you get from your 12? You get 2 long-term fallouts. What are you taking?
It says 2 long-term fallouts plus injured.
Does it?
I mean, at one point on the bottom left of page 12.
Oh, possibly injured. Yeah, 12 to 15 possibly injured. 16 to 19 badly injured. The only injured I could see is when you hit the console, and I don't know if I love that, so I'm okay with not injury.
Where is there's long-term fallout. Ugh. Subtract 1 from equality. Create a new trait at D4. Add D4 to an existing D4 trait.
Come on. 2d4 and something sounds amazing.
I feel like I'm considering adding a D4 to the strained servos.
Ooh.
I got to pick 2, so I might as well do 1.
Cool.
Of that. And, I lost it.
Oh, your PDF? What PDF?
No, just the tab I was on. Doesn't make sense to erase a belonging.
Wow, you could lose a harmony? Holy crap.
I was thinking about it, but I don't know.
Those are so good, though. Really. Don't do that.
Subtract 1 from a quality. What quality would I subtract from? I was successfully stealthy.
Subtracting 1 from a quality could be that some of that software you got it.
That's kind of cool. Although I was gonna say I can make that a what's it called?
A D4 trait.
Yeah, but why would I ever want to roll it? I would just not roll. I have a
That's
virus.
true.
Let's say which one makes sense to ding down then? Skill? Maybe skill. I'm gonna drop skill down to 4.
Okay. Dang, you used to be so good. Now you're just kind of washed up.
The Fallout just keeps on coming. That's when I roll the 6s, of course.
Man, that sucks that the NPCs have different Fallout rules, because I remember the last time we played this, how the Fallout affected an NPC, and it just like blew my mind. But so that's a bummer that it's not even a thing you can do now. But it makes sense. So here's the follow-up conflict. Do you get off of this spaceport without getting shot?
Is it something we're willing to give if needs be?
If you're willing to give up and get captured by the stormtroopers, then there's no conflict.
Well, I mean, we have to agree to the stakes as far as getting shot.
Is shot or captured fair? Because like if you give up, they're not going to necessarily shoot you. They want information.
Yeah, I feel like getting captured by the Imperials is probably a good like stake for them maybe, and counterpoint for us.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I get to bring in my 2 1s off right off the bat. I'm so amazing.
Rich, you only get to keep one of the ones.
Oh,
It's
man.
just your highest.
Okay, I kept the highest die.
Which one?
The one on the right.
Okay. Does somebody else want to be the lead on this one? I don't know if it's legal to change, but I don't think it isn't.
It's a new conflict, so
Yeah,
I think so.
I'd quite like to see Vesh take lead on that one if that's cool with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be stealth with me probably. But yeah, I could do some.
Not getting caught seems like a Vesh kind of thing.
Yeah.
Cool. And now I'm about to do a bunch of hand gesturing because this is the point where I'm supposed to set what's going on. So we have kind of at the northmost point is the half of a single wide trailer control tower that you guys are up on that has like a single set of stairs behind it that you climb up to get inside the control tower. So that's at the northmost point. And then at east and west points are the 2 TIE fighters. And then there's a central area that's all Duracrete pathways between them. And that's where the stormtroopers are. They've checked out the TIE fighters. Nobody's here. And it's only a matter of time before one of them says, you know what, just go up into the control tower and check what's going on there. So you get to make the first raise. And
Okay.
I'll go ahead and just roll my helping dice.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I think this has got to be stealth and deceit.
These guys can go away now.
So
That's good.
7 dice. That's good.
So I would be rolling stealth and deceit. So it's patience and will, but the helping dice of them.
correct.
So 76, 2d10 helping. Hello there.
Holy free holies, you're good at this stuff.
Is that right?
Is it? Let's see. Helping.
Am I adding them up or am I doing... it's confusing. Am I rolling a 3 helping and a 4 helping? Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah, you're rolling a 3
So
helping
I'll
and a
re
4 helping.
46. Okay.
Yeah, 46.
You don't sum them there.
Yeah. That's interesting because I had never even interpreted it that way, but the way you did it made sense when you said it. But then I was like, wait, those are
bad dice.
Yikes.
I mean, you got a 4. That's better than average. Everything else below average or below. Here comes my dice: stealth and deceit and baseline conflict dice. Yeah, this is going to be pretty for you, friends. Bazinga. But they don't count yet. I'm going to move
There's
my
a lot
one.
of ones that don't count.
There's a lot of dice, yeah.
The good news is theoretically in 14 hours, someone will be coming to help.
That's right. And this is where I tell you that as you guys are looking out, you'd seen those two stormtroopers before who were like chitter chattering with each other back and forth. You see that the of these four stormtroopers, one of them has not your regular carbine, but what almost looks like a scattergun, and its armor is like a matte black. And hear me roll dice to see if get better. Oh, 2 6s. Oh my.
2 6s, 2 5s, 2 4s.
Oh no.
Oh, and Bethany, don't forget though, you've also got this 6 and this 5
Yeah.
because it's a follow-up conflict.
Damn it.
Good point. That's good.
But for anyone who's seen The Mandalorian, this is the like Death Troopers. This is a Death Trooper. So. Cool. You guys are the ones trying to. You'll be the one escaping. Sorry, that's a quote from a video game that is twice as old as my son.
Okay, so it has to add up to more than a 6. But no matter what I put forward, you're going to be able to match it. So that
Yeah, it's interesting.
seems like this 3 and this 4 would be the ones to go.
I feel like, are we just trying to buy time and whittle down the Empire's dice?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that a cat noise?
That's the cat, yeah. Yeah, so I think 7.
Oh, you're putting forth a meager 7, huh?
Uh-huh.
Can't turn it, but I can certainly see it. So how am I going to see it? I think I'm going to see
There's
it.
nothing I could put out that you wouldn't see, so.
Fair enough. All right. So what does this look like? When you put this first raise forward, it's an unanswerable thing, or it's not unanswerable, a thing that must be answered. Complete opposite of what I started off saying.
Right. Okay.
So is that a like opening up the door to head down the back stairs kind of deal?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like waiting for the stormtroopers to be at least facing away from us, and then like the idea is to open the door, all of us get down the stairs as fast as possible before they turn around.
Nice. And you do it, right? I block it. So maybe you guys get halfway down the stairs and one of the stormtroopers is coming around the back way. So that's the block, is that they don't see you yet, but
our idea, like, we're wrong about the patterns they're following, basically.
Yes. Yeah, basically the Death Trooper said something here because I don't know why, but Death Troopers don't speak audibly in words we understand. So boom, clear it out, and now I get to raise. And I think the raise is that this stormtrooper is coming around the corner with a 12.
Okay. Yeah.
We can bring in more dice.
I'm gonna have to.
You certainly can.
You can. And since I cannot block that, probably need some more dice.
You just need a 6 or better because you have that 6. Remember that 5 and 6 that you've got right there. You can use it at any point because of my fallout.
Yeah.
I'm wondering about your exploits and if they might come in handy at some point here. If you're a notoriously slippery character.
Yeah. Okay. What's my exploit
Ooh, and
dice?
at some point you could be, I'm not moving in the direction I seem to be. That might be helpful for us.
Oh, yeah, it could be very helpful.
Holy crap, you got some good stuff to bring to the
Okay, yeah.
You're
I'm not moving the
scrappy
direction I seem to be.
drifter.
I've got a bunch of,
You were
applicable
born
ones
for
here.
this, Vesh.
Okay, so yes.
Done being pushed around by the Empire. I mean, you've got a lot of things for this.
Yeah,
You're a good
that seems-
lead player on this one.
Some of these seem more fighty than sneaky, but
Might come to that, Vesh. It might come.
Yeah,
to that.
exactly. I'm keeping that in mind. Okay, so I'll do the 1d8 for not moving the direction I seem to be. And my name, I'm good at getting into trouble. So that's
That's all right. D6 and a D8.
6 and a D8.
Hey, do you want to use that free heart die of the Imperial military? D4?
Oh, is it? Do I have?
Yeah, you got free heart.
I didn't even look at those.
It's on row 20.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, Imperial military. Hey.
I
Who
forgot.
knows?
We also have unspent heart dice.
That's true.
which
You can
are
bring it at any point.
whenever you want.
Yep.
Okay.
And
Cool.
Kit is sitting on a gold mine of unspent heart dice.
Holy moly!
Yeah.
3d10.
So much heart.
Okay.
So much
My
dice.
D8 got an entire D2, but my D6 got a 6, so I do have a 12.
Dang, that short-term fallout. Oh, so Stormtrooper comes around as you guys are going down the steps. What does it look like as you block his attempts to find you?
I think, I think I'm the last one on the stairs. Or was the last one on the stairs. So I'm like the one who hasn't found something to get behind.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm just like perfectly still kind of under the bottom of the stairs. Like if they came over and like bent down and looked under the stairs, they would totally see that person was there.
That's crazy.
But I think they're expecting to see someone on the stairs.
Yeah, it's like clever cut of a couple camera angles where the following the eyes of the trooper, and the trooper ends up going up the stairs as you guys are just sneaking the other way.
Because I mean, they totally heard that door, or something up there. But yeah, they're like the camera like sees the foot come down right above me.
There's someone in the control tower.
And clunk, 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 clunk. He's heading up the stairs. But that's only one of the stormtroopers. There are two more and a death trooper. That was me putting forth a thing and you guys blocking it. So now you get to make a raise.
So Kit's got 2 5s, which could automatically. Do we want to try to just burn off some of those dice like Bethany did with the 7? I feel like that's not a terrible idea.
I mean, as long as it adds up to more than a 6, it doesn't really matter what it is because we don't have 2 6s to spend, or even a 6 and a 5.
Yeah, we're not gonna make them take
Right.
any admit the blow just yet.
Right.
Maybe if we can prolong this.
So
Yeah.
a 5 and a 2 would do it.
Yeah, I'm good to do something. I think that maybe this is what this looks like is I'm going to put forward. Yeah, I'll put forward the 5 and the 2. No, actually, I'll put forward the 5 and the 3. And I'm going to I think Kit is going to sort of head around the side of of one of the buildings, and kind of and again, I think there's just that moment where he just like raises a hand again, and there's another sort of distraction for one of the troopers as he kind of gets the waves the others to follow behind this. I'm thinking actually maybe it's like one of those big like power converter type structures at the edge of one of the landing pads.
Cool. Push some dice forward. Sounds awesome. I have tried just now creating a new background image for the die roller with the word Fallout on the right hand side. So don't think it's going to make any difference from having a note, but it's there.
Cool.
So
yeah.
8.
So that's the 5 and the 3 that I've put forward there for 8.
Okay. That's going to make me use good dice, but I do not want to.
Yeah, the 5 and a 3 was very clever going up from the 5 and a 2.
It was smart because I can't reverse the blow. Cool. So I think they block it in that you are able to distract another stormtrooper, but the death trooper is now making a beeline towards where. Why did I re-roll those? Making a beeline to where you guys generally are, as if they have a sense that something is wrong. And that is where I am going to escalate things. As I think this death trooper is going to like just fire randomly. It's Imperial Trooper, so yeah, I think so. Authoritarian cruelty and a plasma blaster and fighting is all going to be happening right now. Just going crazy. Just going to like unload on this area. Figuring out, well, why am I moving the 1s and 2s over? I know I'm going to get a lot better dice. Here it comes. A whole passel of dice, friends. Sweet. So authoritarian cruelty, plasma blaster, and fighting. That is 4 and 1, 5, and 4 more, 9d6. Let me go ahead and roll those, then I'll move them down and order them. Oh, that is a 6. I'll take that 6. I don't know how my cool pips got taken away. That makes me mad. I like pips. Dang it. I'm a Gladys Knight fan.
No pips for the Empire.
And here's my D4 from my blaster. And I re-roll that. And of course, it's slightly better than a lot of D6s. And now I got to bring in my fighting, which is a D8 and a D10. Let me re-roll those. Wow. You know what, friends? I thought this was going to be terrifying, but instead it's just going to be an 11 I'm putting forth as this death trooper and the one stormtrooper is with you. They start firing in your general area and where Kit had thrown down the latest, and they're just like lighting it up at this point. Blaster carbine and this weird scattergun, and they're firing near you guys. You can hear the ting 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 of the blaster against the structure that holds up the control tower. The control tower wobbles just a little bit, and I have put forth an 11. What do you do?
And we are now fighty, so we could roll in.
Yes,
We can roll for fight. Okay.
I've escalated all the way to fighting,
which is actually just adding skill for us.
Sadly,
that's one of the weird things where like the NPCs have totally different.
Yes, they do, and it's weird, and it gives them a whole lot more dice.
Okay. Well, luckily my skill is 5, so.
Nice. Earlier tonight, TX's skill was a 5.
Not that long ago. right, so that's 2d6 additional. Oh, those are some nice ones.
Better.
Look at those
Okay.
6s. Wow, nice. You can definitely see that.
I can, yeah.
She's not going to use that 5 because it hurts my heart to see that one of my dice is on the bad side. I mean, your side.
You know, I was just thinking I should use it, but I kind of like it there taunting
Insult
you.
my wound. Don't. Sweet. So what does that block look like? Is this Death Trooper's trying to scare you guys to show yourselves?
I think all this gunfire actually sort of gives us some cover. Like, it doesn't matter how much noise we're gonna make. We don't have to be like slow and careful. We just have to not be seen long enough to shoot.
Nice.
So I think like we just, start running as quickly as possible with like no concern whatsoever for making noise or drawing attention to ourselves other than like, don't get caught in the open and get shot.
Okay, this sounds fantastic. So yeah, you guys take off to try to run out of here. Now it is time for you to make a raise, or any member from your team.
Okay, so can I bring in other dice
Sure.
now? Okay.
Yes, it's your raise.
Although, actually, looking at this, I don't need to.
You've got a really good set of die roll results
I
sitting
got
there.
an 11 right here.
So
No, I'll need to next time because all my other dice are crap. But
so now we're fighting. So we're doing fighty stuff. Although I guess we don't have to be aggressive. It could be defensive fighting if we want.
Could be. You're in a fight is how you choose to respond to it, but still the Fallout dice are going to be based off of fighting. I think since I've got to eat this, I'm going to eat up a lot of not great dice, and just why not? Because it's short-term Fallout for me anyway. Ooh, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11.
wow.
5. I'm using 6 dice. I'm gonna take so much Fallout and fighting Fallout. So this could be a bad thing. But for now, I take the blow. I think you guys take off out of there. I don't know. Keith, David, Bethany, do we feel like, either they give chase as their raise or the conflict's done?
Yeah, I don't know. Seems.
I guess I'm trying to figure out if it would just be at this point playing out the thread, or if they can flip it around on us. Because if you put forward a 10, then we would either. I don't think David's rolled in his additional dice for fighting.
I would be putting forth a 10. And what's the thing you have to answer to? I think they move towards your position. Now they've kind of lit everything up. They know they can just move in quickly while you guys are trying to run off. So yeah, I think I'm going to give after this if things don't go my way. But oh, there's some dice down the bottom left-hand corner. Just not so.
Are they yellow?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are mine.
Those
They're
are
not
great.
fantastic, but they're
So-
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if that's okay, then I will. I'll bring in some of my dice here. So it will just be the. I'm actually wondering. No, ignore me. I will bring in the my skill. Is helping on a 2? Is that D4s? Or sorry, I've not got the.
No, it's okay. The helping thing is something I'm going to stick in the character keeper. Helping with a 2 die quality is 2d4. Yes.
Yeah, cool. So I will bring in those 2d4 just on the off chance that I need them.
Never know.
But the I am also going to. Oh no, actually, I was going to say I move faster than you, I can follow, but I'm not. I'm actually instead going to go. I act without hurry with perfect economy of motion because it's cooler, and and also I could arm myself, but I don't. I think we maybe just get that moment where, as the blaster bolts start coming in, we see, we see Kit's hand slipping inside his long duster, but then he pulls it back out again and just sort of does the thing of sort of standing up, making, he's relatively tall, obviously not as big as TX, but he just kind of walks away from the blast of fire, and they just sort of hopefully splatter sort of around him as he walks off into the night.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I'm totally pulling for you to pull that off because it sounds so dope.
Yeah, so that will be a D10. And I will have to roll that, sadly. That's okay still.
Sorry, you brought it out to the table. It was a 9. I got all excited.
Yeah. If that had come up a 10, that would have been perfect. But yeah. The other one I will go for is, as I said, act without hurry, which is D8. So I'll bring that one in.
Land of the 5s.
So yeah, I will see with a pair of 5s.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, you just move in this incredibly cinematic fashion while Vesh scampers away. They're barely seen, and TX just knows the battlefield well enough to know how to exunt. And I think you guys get away. Yeah, I think I'll give at this point. These are stormtroopers, even with a death trooper, and so I will just. I mean, if it's short-term fallout, do we even want to wait to see my fallout dice? I want to, so damn it, I'm gonna do it. Give me a second. These were fighting, so I'm gonna be rolling higher dice. Let's see how this goes.
Something interesting could happen, you know.
Could be. All right, fallout roll. Fallout dice. Violence is D10s. I'm going to be rolling 6 D10. I can't reach your dice, Keith, so you'll have to delete them.
Can't reach them. Interesting.
Yeah, they're too low on my 6D10. Here it comes. Bringing them out and getting ready to roll them.
Oh, so close.
19. Wow.
So 20, you would have been dead. 19, you just have to leave the scene and spend time alone.
Yeah.
Badly injured. Fallout for NPCs. It is badly injured.
Yeah, I think what happens is these guys get away, and we see like a scene of the Death Trooper walking up with the Stormtrooper who'd gone up to the control tower, and he points out there was someone here. It looks like they made a communication, and the Death Trooper totally pulls a Vader and just shoots that Stormtrooper. And yeah, there are rebels here. There's definitely rebels here. So yeah, got a little bit of time for a scene. So Vesh, TX, Kit, do we pick up at the shed?
Yeah, I think so.
That unless there's something somebody wants to do.
I think that the most interesting thing is to run back and tell Tika and Brimman, hey, we did the thing. They're on the way. We're heroes.
Great. Okay, they'll be here any minute. Well, by any minute, I mean sometime tomorrow. We just need to hold up. Everything's going to be fine. See? I told you. No problems.
You are okay with holding up. You no longer wish to steal a TIE fighter.
Well, not now. I guess you guys
Most
probably,
excellent.
yeah, caused some trouble. So
it was not.
We might not want to go back to the spaceport.
It was not as unobtrusive as we had hoped it would be.
Still Vesh, TX, good job from both of you. And I think, Kit's going to do like a big sort of stretch. There's probably a bit of like clicking as he sort of like, moves his head. Not quite as spry as I once was, unfortunately, but we seem to get out relatively cleanly.
Yeah.
Kit Shadestar certainly has a knack for moving where the Empire is not.
It's, you don't get to this age without picking up a couple of tricks.
Mentally calculating, like, how much older am I than Kit, and do I want to say anything about?
Cool. And so I think this is the point where Tika will say, Zizi, you should come with me. You don't need to stay on this rock. Let's get the stuff you're raising and we can go. You can leave Findar.
It took me forever to find a place where I could plant those things, and been here for a couple of years now. How many times do I need to start over?
Can I see them?
Yeah, of course.
And it's dark outside, right? So do you offer, hey, let's go see in the morning, or?
No, we can go now.
Okay.
I want to, I want us to get out of here, like, get the ship and hide it somewhere. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, look, I want you to take some of them.
Zizi,
if you find a place to plant them.
Of course I will. Oh, nice. And I kind of see this scene of like Vesh and TX and Tika all like on hands and knees digging up a few of these saplings and having like, I guess, like a burlap type thing to hold the root clusters.
Mm-hmm.
I think TX is like droid splaining a bit to Tika with like, you need to make sure that these parts stay fully encased in the soil. If they're exposed to air that's not treated in the right way, like nothing that's important for her to know.
You're just like,
she's wrapped with
spewing out a gardening manual here.
Yeah.
Nice. And it
might
be
really one that I downloaded and I'm just reciting from.
Yes.
And I think it might be old hat to Vesh, but you Vesh can read. Tika's learning this. I don't think Tika's seen these trees before, right?
No, she's
a
young,
generation
right?
after. Yeah, she's pretty young. I think you've given her an incredible gift. How many of them? Like 3, you think?
Yeah, I said
4?
there's 12 or 15 of them. So yeah, 3 of them seems like a good number. And like the fact that I have these is kind of just a fluke. Like nobody entrusted these to me. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time to, grab some seeds before I left.
And I think you're here, kid, right? When you see that the 3 saplings, sorry? I think Kit is here as well. And I think during all of this, TX giving the instruction manual to Tika nodding, listening with rapt attention, Vesh helping out, and they're gathering all of these. I think, Kit, you're the one that notices that these 3 particular saplings, like they're starting to flower a little bit. They're doing better than the other saplings.
Yeah, and I think Kit's going to just kind of take walk over to them and say, well, these ones certainly seem like very fine specimens, and we'll very, very gently like run a finger along the sort of the leaves and up to like the little buds where the flowers are sort of coming out.
Don't think of anything important when you do that, please.
What? Sorry.
Don't touch them while you're thinking about anything important.
What? Cece, what?
They consume memories. You have to, if you want to feed them memories, make sure to feed them ones that they don't matter. Think about, think about the walk here, or the what you ate for dinner last night, or the weather report last Tuesday, or something like that.
And I think, that kit will definitely take his hand away and say, well, that is unusual.
You don't want to accidentally lose anything. Yeah, I don't think on Imperial codes for sure.
I have not heard of the like before. They're most unusual.
There aren't many left. There's no full-grown one.
Kit, what's the memory that jumps to mind for you that slowly starts to fade away? And why is it important?
Oh, I think his first thought, back to that would have been, I think he does start, when it's even that thing of just thinking about whether or not he has heard of these plants before. It thinks back to studying with his master, who was they were an Ithorian who was big into botany and stuff. And I think just some of his memories about his master start to fade away.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so awesome. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Sweet. And I think we will just, cinematic versus actual chronology, unity of time thing. Maybe we stop with the four of you, including Tika, as the sun starts to rise across the prairies, and she's holding these four saplings with this excited look on her face. And I think that's where we'll bring this session to a close. So yeah, that's interesting stuff. We've got a few minutes left, so let's knock it out with a bit of stars and wishes. Next week will be our last session, so wishes can include I would love to see X or Y. And before we even do that, we should probably say, what's the next situation we'd like to close things out with? I think it would be good to have that kind of in my back pocket. So
I realized,
Yeah.
I realized we missed something.
Oh, what did we miss?
How could we possibly not see this? On the bottom right of page 12, reflection fallout. At the end of every chapter, you get reflection fallout.
Oh.
So when we've solved the messes that we have, you get to choose two, add dice to your unspent heart dice, choose one experience fallout, or choose one long-term fallout, which I don't know why you would want to choose, but you could.
That's fantastic. Thank you for finding that. Yet again, hard to read all of this. Experience fallout, long-term fallout, reflection fallout. It's on 178 of the rules as well. Addition conflict, end of every chapter. I think this is definitely a chapter thing. So let's do that. 2 of 1d8, 2d6, or 3d4. So you could take 2d8 unspent heart dice. Just an experience fallout or a long-term fallout. Yeah, I'm with you. Why would you want a long-term fallout? It's terrible.
I guess thematically it's interesting, but you're probably going to get that in your conflicts anyway.
Yep.
Hasn't been rare for me anyway.
Fair enough. Cool. What is the next situation? So do think about the reflection fallout. Does anyone have a situation that sounds interesting to them, or do we want to talk about situation after our wishes? I don't know, maybe wishes will help us guide us to the situation.
I mean, I guess, yeah, I suppose like my thoughts on situation, yeah, do kind of line up with my wishes as well, I think. So
Okay.
Maybe that, yeah.
Okay, so let's lead off with wishes, and then we'll talk
Yeah.
about the situation, and then we'll do stars and call it.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, so I mean, if that's kind of, I'll start on that, and then yes, I think so. So for yeah, my wishes, I enjoyed sort of seeing these conflicts we got today. I thought they were quite interesting. But yeah, I think maybe for next time, and especially with it being the last session as well, I'd maybe like to jump into a situation that's a bit more like immediately actiony, a bit more in media res rather than having kind of a slow build up to it. It was I really enjoyed the session, but I think I'd like to kind of, especially for the last session, really kind of like jump in at the point of action with something. Sure. Yeah, so in terms of situation, obviously, yeah, something that lends itself to that would be cool.
Okay, thank you, David. Bethany or Keith, who would like to go next?
Sorry, Bethany, do you want to go next?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, piggybacking on what David said, very similar. I kind of feel like a lot of times when we introduce a situation, we're at loose ends. Like, what are we going to do? What's going to happen? Do we want to do this? And then we get into like that planning thing where it's like, we could try this, we could try that. And I would love to have just it's obvious we need to do this thing, but we've got to make it happen.
Yeah, that's kind of, I both of those put together was pretty much what I was going to say. Is like, we need something that happens fast, or like, starts action right away, but also like what that action needs to be, or we'll spend half the session trying to, discuss like, okay, how do we do this? Where do we even start? And like, since it's the last session, something obvious would be good.
I have been missing that button of like gaze into the abyss kind of thing, where it's like, I'm not sure what we should do. Roll some dice. Oh, that's what we should do.
Right. Yeah.
It's
Open
kind
your
of that
mind to the
old
psychic
school
maelstrom
D&D.
and find out.
Yeah. Shades of like, oh, we actually have to be clever people for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think and this is, I suppose, more of on a feedback type wish rather than a specific thing. I love feedback. I think that's where it kind of, for me, not falls down. I don't think it's a bad thing per se, but I think one of the things that really drove Dogs was the fact that you went into it, even if you as players didn't go into it, your characters went into every situation with absolute certainty and knowing what they were doing was right. Whereas the openness of this kind of setting, you're just like, well, what do I do? Should I be doing? Whereas really it thrives when you are just pushing forwards and doing one thing after another, rather than having those sort of big, like, planning, like I said, the planning moments and stuff like that. And I think that's definitely something that comes from the change in the premise of the game itself, because I think because as individual characters, we don't necessarily even have a drive, and certainly not like overlapping drives necessarily, like you do in Dogs. So I think that's maybe where some of that like more hesitancy, open-endedness sort of comes from in how it plays out.
Yeah, I think Keith made a really interesting observation of like TX would just want to hide out, and Kit either wants to hide out or move on, or so not having roots does make it harder. I think that's a pretty good observation. Yeah. I had a nascent thought, but I think it's gone. The tree must be around. It ate my thought. Cool. So let's talk about situation. What situation do we think would be great to jump right into?
Oh, this may tie into the question that we're wondering about. I would love to see the dramatic reveal of Kit and be like, oh snap, we were hanging out with a Jedi.
Me too. I would like to see that as well.
So I don't know if
and
the
we had,
situation
kind of TX's background and a lot of Vesh's background, come back to bite them. But we haven't seen, Kit's still a mystery, except for a mystery to the other characters, not to the audience.
Yeah, no, that would be cool. The one just from like looking at the situations in the thing, I was scrolling through them from the back upwards because that was where the direction I was going through the PDF from. But the first one that kind of leapt out to me was an Imperial occupation force of heavy assault walkers has locked down a city in the system, something on that lines, and that would seem to follow on logically from what we've just done, maybe. Like I said, doesn't have to be that, but something in that kind of vein would seem like an appropriate thing to bring us somewhere. We kind of have to actually sort of take the Empire, on head on, or maybe not quite head on, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean that does follow directly, and like, oh, we caused this, we should fix it. Yeah, kind of just gives us all a immediate drive, and it would force Kit to be openly awesome.
Hopefully.
Which situation number was that?
That's 6-4, I think.
6-4. Yeah. Part of the liberating mission, and we're on our approach now. Boy, that is definitely immediate res.
Yeah, that works for me. And we could even end up meeting other NPCs if Rich wants to mine his rich background of Star Wars NPCs to throw in there. Could be part of the liberating forces as well.
That sounds fun. Boy, that is quite a tonal shift. That's like we fired our director mid-season and we want to have a great season finale, and we got all this unspent budget because they were always doing those close in tight shots. Okay, I'm into it. That sounds good. Sweet. So we will begin next session doing just the wrap up of Desert Flower, that kind of stuff. But it may be something as simple as like a talk off, and we jump straight into this situation. That sounds good to me. Let's finish up with some stars. Bethany, you went last for wishes. You get to go first for stars. Do you have any stars to hand out?
Stars to David for just doing constantly Jedi stuff all the time, even though nobody's supposed to know about the Jedi stuff, but like the subtle secret, this ramp just happens to fall, I had nothing to do with that. I really like how you both kept in like cool Jedi stuff and secret stuff. Like, I don't know, it had a very true to Star Wars feel to it.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Thank you, Bethany. Keith, what about you? Any stars?
I liked how we started to pick up on the mini dice game that is in the heart of this, and getting into the strategy. And at one point when David was like, no, I'm going to push these forward because then that means you have to, and then and like, oh yeah, okay, this is fun. This is where, like, I feel like the first few times you do it, it's kind of forced, the actions are forcing the dice, and you're trying to pair them together, and then eventually it flips and it's like the dice are telling you what actions you're doing, which is kind of fun. Like, oh, I am doing that, yeah, of course. And I think we hit that point, being able to have several people in the conflict, which is also way better than dogs. I feel like it's been a while since I played dogs, but I feel like when it's multiple PCs, it's a mess. And this seemed to handle it much better.
Helping dice alone made a significant improvement to group actions. I really like it. I just need to stick on the character sheet that we've been using.
That would be
the helping dice info. I think I'm going to actually, put it in there right this second while it's still in my head. Cool. Thank you very much, Keith. David, did you have any stars?
Yeah, absolutely. Just as a table thing, I think I just would stars to everyone for for you sort of touched on this, but because I think this is quite I mean, it's both simple and complicated at the same time. I feel it's that weird sort of position, but there's quite a lot of specificity to various different little bits and pieces of the rules and stuff. And I just wanted to give everyone the stuff really kind of like working together to work it all out and working through stuff. And I think that's been really good, and it's really helped me. So yeah, big stuff for that. Also, just in more specific things, I want to give definitely a star for that the whole overclocking TX in that thing was a really nice moment with that sort of using that fallout to kind of build up on that as well, and see that thing was really nice. Everything with these little memory eating trees has been amazing. With Vesh, it's great, and I really like the sort of scene with Vesh and Tika with them, and that was nice to see. And yeah, just some really nice, very Star Warsy feeling moments in this all round. I think it was really cool and really enjoyed myself. So thank you.
Good. Yeah, stars all around to everyone. These characters are super interesting, but stars to the players for this has been a game where I've stumbled a lot, and everybody's kept a really good and giving attitude as we're like, no, I think we do this, or we'll pause and talk it through. That's been really nice. Like, I don't think a few years ago me could GM in this manner, where I'm just very openly like, this is a system that I want to learn alongside you rather than being the expert. And I appreciate that. It's been wonderful. So if there's nothing else, we'll go ahead and stop recording here.